Hi, Craig.
Did you start?
I already started.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cheated.
That's how the editing process is now. Is yours is already started and I got to line us up. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, whoops. Whoops.
That's fine. That's fine. Hello, all, and welcome to Who's Your Bane. It was St. Patrick's Day last week. That'll be today for us while we're recording. Somehow, both of us are sober, making an episode for you. Yes.
It's because we're old men now.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
We don't want to go out. We don't want to celebrate things.
Here we are. I'm Jared, and this is my co-host.
I'm also Jared. No, I'm Anthony.
Anthony. Yes. Good. If I was talking to myself, I'd be worried. Maybe not. I don't know. We were talking about a lot of stuff. A lot of news, gaming news has been buzzing around some things. So we're going to talk about that. Hopefully. And then tell you about the other stuff we've been doing in our free time. Because we get it. We get some.
Very small amounts.
Well. Anyway, I don't know if you saw this news article, or maybe it wasn't an article. Maybe it was just a Twitter post. And I was Twitter-pated because Jim Carrey is slated to return for Sonic 4. And if that's true, that's pretty awesome. If you're someone like me and has seen all of these movies multiple times, not just because I have kids, but because they're great movies, great video game movies, I really thought that was going to be his last one, his big send-off. He played himself. I mean, he played Eggman, and then he played Papa Eggman, the grandpa. So he was two guys in that movie that interacted quite a bit. So I was like, well, this is it. This is the big send-off.
Yeah. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I saw the Sonic movie at your house.
Which one?
I think we were the very first one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I've never seen it. And you're like, oh, you have to watch it. And then we just pulled it up and kind of had it in the background. And then we both just stopped what we were doing and watched the Sonic movie.
It's so good.
They're incredible. Like, it's a really good movie. And obviously I haven't kept up with the newer one or, quote unquote newer ones, but it's incredible what they're able to do with that story. And like, my thing is getting it to the younger audience, because Sonic was my childhood. How do you get somebody from that generation, this new generation, to care about like my stuff? And Sonic did it. Like, kids care about Sonic. Good. They should. That's a very important video game character. And like you said, I think it's surprising that he's coming back. I think he just gave them like a blank check and was like, if you want to keep making Sonic movies, I'll keep being in them. And
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But that Sonic movie, obviously, it came under heavy controversy initially because it was like ugly Sonic, and they scrambled to make him not ugly. And then now they're on the fourth movie. Imagine if they hadn't, it would have just went away. We wouldn't have got Sonic. Hell, we probably wouldn't have got other video game movies. I felt like that inspired the Mario one. But I got some opinions on both things. Obviously, I don't think a lot of Sonic games are really geared towards young kids, like 5-year-olds and things. But Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy, any Mario game really, any kid can pick up and play. My son, he beat Mario Odyssey, and then he was like, I want to play Sonic Frontiers. And I was like, well, I don't know, son. It does require a bit of reading. You have to be able to know like what the button presses are. There's like a parry system, and you have to defeat enemies in a certain way. And so he was trying to do it, and he just couldn't do it. Yeah, well, he'll get it eventually, but it's just, it's not as beginner friendly as a Mario game. But then, in the Sonic movie, way good, so good. Loved all three of them. Watch them a lot. Then the Mario movie came out. I just was not that impressed with that movie. Like visually, very impressive. Story-wise, I was just kind of bored. And then I didn't really like that they just like stuffed a bunch of Hollywood actors in there instead of trying to find like voices that really make you feel or characters that make you feel like, you know, because Sonic's voice actor, I mean, he just sounds like Sonic to me. It's young Sonic, you know. I don't know what you think about that.
I like the thing that's so weird. You know, like my perspective of the younger generation is through my niece, and she loved the Mario movies. Like you know, all of the sound bites and all of the, you know, like the memes and stuff like that. She ate it up. But I think there's kind of like, you know, if Sonic is a success in the sense that like it's true to the character, fans voiced their displeasure with how he looked and then they fixed it. I think Mario is the opposite side of that coin where they were like you said, we're just going to slap Hollywood actors into these roles. They don't fit the soul of the character. They fit the meme potential of the character. And the younger generation, they don't care. They don't know any different because they don't know who these characters are. But like our generation is sitting there going like, really? Like that's not how those characters are supposed to act or talk or sound or, you know, the way they behave. I think there are some things from the movie that were really cool that I enjoyed. I liked the idea of Bowser being this like hopeless romantic, you know, like yearning over Peach. I thought that was hilarious. But like, I don't know if Jack Black is the person to be Bowser. You know, I think there needs to be a certain energy to him. You know, like he needs to have a menacing presence that I don't think Jack Black conveyed. And so I don't know. I agree with you. I think it was not what the older generation wanted, and I don't think the younger generation cares. So they just thought it was funny. So I don't think it's the same success as Sonic. Same thing with the Minecraft movie. It's like the Minecraft movie comes out and there's the chicken jockey meme, and you know that obviously blows up and takes years off of elementary school teachers' lives. But it's like, who was that for? Well, it was for kids, obviously. So it's like, it's not for us adults to sit there and go like, well, I don't know if that was the right casting choice. Kids don't care. They care about the memes.
Now, see, I kind of liked Jack Black as Steve. Steve, first we mine, and then we craft. Like, and then lava, chicky. I mean, there's not like a lot of substance to Minecraft, so I felt like you brought a lot to it. And then the characters that they had, and Jason Momoa was really good. But I have the same feeling about Bowser. I think he was really good for kids. Like you said, he's not menacing, and I think that makes Bowser much more likable to a young audience, and I think that's probably good. But I like Bowser a lot, and I want him to be big and mean and tough. But I kind of like him to be kind of silly and stupid, like with his kid Bowser Jr., because they added that, you know. But I think that's just you and I like liking the villain more than the hero.
Right, yeah, true.
That's really what it is. Like, he's not dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
He's cool.
My vision of Bowser will always be the Bowser from Mario Tennis, where he's like scheming and conniving and like teaming up with other bad guys to take Mario down. He's not the like Saturday morning cartoon villain. He's like, I don't even know how to describe it. He's like, well, I guess maybe he is a Saturday morning cartoon villain. He's the guy who comes in and has this like grandiose scheme that's almost way too complex for what it is that he's trying to do. And then Mario just comes in and it's like, I win because I'm the good guy. And it's like, you foiled me again. Okay. I also love the subplot of, I don't think this is canon by any means, but I love the subplot of like, Bowser and Peach like just going off and doing like a fun thing on their own, and Mario being like, "Oh, I kidnapped her again," and everybody's like, "Mario, come on, man!" Like, yeah, it's like, come on, man. I don't think she was kidnapped.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Mario in general. Is the story has just been non-existent in the mainline games. So we're not talking about like Mario and Luigi games, those turn-based RPGs that were, I believe, directed by the same guy who directed Seven Stars, which is one of the best Mario RPG games. Obviously, there is another series of RPGs that Mario is in, and I don't really want to comment on that right now. This just makes me mad. Anyway, look, I just want Mario and Luigi to be together like the whole time. I just love that so much. I think they should be on every adventure together. You should be able to play as both of them, do the bro power stuff, should be constantly a part of the Mario. It's the Mario Brothers, you know? And that's what I really liked, you know, especially Super Mario World and Mario World, or, you know, Super Mario 3 on the NES. Like, those games just had Mario and Luigi. And then every time they would make like a remaster of those games, they would actually give Luigi his like tall man shape, and then he would reprise his flutter jump from Super Mario 2, which that's awesome.
Man, I was just getting ready to say that. Like, I think the differences of the characters are what make them so unique and likable. And like in my mind, when you have the main guy win all the time, that's like shonen stuff. That's when you're like a teenager. When you're a kid playing video games, it should be about the team. It should be, like you said, it's me and my bro. Like, he can do things that I can't do. I can do things that he can't do. When we work together, we win. You know, that's when we overcome the obstacle. But when it's like, oh, Mario can do everything and then Luigi's also there, I don't like that. I don't like him being a secondary character. They should be 1A and 1B, and you rotate in, you know, based on whoever's strength you need at the moment. And that can apply to everybody. That can be for Yoshi, Peaches, Toad, whoever you need. Like you said, they do a very good job in the earlier games, you know, diversifying the cast and making sure everybody has their own unique powers. But man, it's like you play some of the newer games and it's like, you just pick Mario because he's the leader, he's the star.
Or he's the only option. But you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that Nintendo was having to respond to Sega back then, because Sonic started adding characters that you could play as. You could play as Tails, and Tails was totally different way to go through the levels. And then Knuckles was also totally different. It was like, what else could you do? What else could you make? And then they make Knuckles. We're all like, oh damn, oh shit, this fucking slaps, you know. And like, so then we get Mario 2, and it's like, well, what am I going to play, Mario and then Green Mario? And then we're like, no, actually, Luigi jumps higher, and he does a little flutter jump, and he's a little harder to control. And then also, you know what? We're going to add Princess Peach in here as a playable character, and she's fucking awesome to play as. Every time they reprise her in a multiplayer game where she could do the float, it's just she's so beginner-friendly to the Mario franchise, because you can like jump and you're going to fall off the cliff, and then you can hit the button again and just float over. You're like, whoops, that was too close. And then Toad in Mario 2, I think his power was like he dug faster, and that was like it. I don't remember. Yeah. But they should put Toad, you know. This is also probably kind of a hot take about Yoshi, but they just babyfied the fuck out of him, man. Like, oh my God. He was so cool in Super Mario World. And then they bring him into Yoshi's Story, which is Super Mario World 2 for all you folks out there who don't know, where you play as Yoshi and Mario's a baby and you're trying to save Luigi. And you play as like all the Yoshis. There's like a bunch. But they're not like in Super Mario World where the different colors meant they had different powers. It's just the same, but you're a different color in every stage. Pretty cool. But then they made Yoshi's Story, which was my least favorite Yoshi game. And then I kind of stopped playing the Yoshi games because I was like, he's a fucking baby? Is he a baby? Is he supposed to be a baby? I don't know. Maybe I need to play a new Yoshi game. Maybe I need to go buy, what's the latest one? I don't know. He's always in like a...
I don't know.
He's always in like a...
Made out of wool or something?
Yeah. Or cardboard. He's like made out of crayons. Maybe that's right up my alley, actually, and I'm just being an ass.
Right.
It's fine. Get that fucking thing away from me. Yeah. They start playing. I'm like, oh shit, Yoshi's so cool.
I wouldn't like that. I have special eyes.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Look with your special eyes.
Puts it in my Switch. Yoshi. Yeah, my wife's favorite Mario character is Yoshi.
Man,
you know that?
You're exactly right. It's like, I really feel like it's so weird how you can take something like Mario and then you're like, what if they were baby? You know, because I'm sure it was just some executive sitting in a stupid meeting and they're like, what if they were babies?
They're babies. They're stupid.
Yeah, that instantly turns off like an entire section of people who liked Mario games, and it's like, oh, they're babies. That's stupid.
They're stupid.
I don't like that. Or it's like, yeah, like you said, it's like, oh, what if they were made out of paper and crayons and craft materials? And it's like, oh, I don't like that art style. Well, I mean, you know, the same could be said about Link in Wind Waker, where a lot of people were thrown off by, that art style. But like, that's what drew me in. Making it kind of that more whimsical and pirate themed. I was like, hey, that's right up my alley. I'll jump in on that, you know? So I don't know. It's this constant push and pull of he's the third most popular mascot in the entire world.
Is he?
And it's like, what more can you do with him? Yeah, I think it's Pokemon, and then I think it's Mickey Mouse, and then I think it's him.
You mean the Shock Mouse? Yep. Don't fuck with the Shock Mouse. You're gonna get us electrocuted. Yep. We'll be blasting off again. That'll be the end of the episode. We'll get fucking thunderbolted by fucking Ash and his fucking Pikachu. No, I totally forgot
Team Rocket.
Yeah, we would. Prepare for trouble.
And make it double.
Yeah. Anyway, I totally forgot about this announcement. There was a Yoshi announcement for the Switch too. I watched it. I remember I started to watch it and be like, oh, that's dumb. There's bubbles. That's dumb. And then they started doing stuff with the bubbles and I was like, looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's called Yoshi's Mystery in the Mystery Book, and it had some pretty cool looking. It's side scroller, and it kind of really did bring me back to Yoshi's Island, which I still think is probably the best Yoshi game, best iteration. It was very fun, but again, maybe I shouldn't be talking because I haven't played these other ones. There's Crafted World. This is the previous one. And the one behind that one was Woolly World. That was 2015. So 2019, 2015, the new Yoshi's Island. Oh, yeah, I remember this. This was on the 3DS. This was one I never played. But I remember looking at it and being like, God damn, that looked pretty good. And then the Yoshi's Island, Touch and Go. I remember playing that on the DS. Did you ever play Yoshi Touch and Go?
No. I basically skipped over the entire DS generation of handhelds. So I was, by the end of the Game Boy Advance era, I was pretty much exclusively Kingdom Hearts and Pokemon. And then I fell off handhelds completely. And I didn't get back on until the 3DS, the very end of the 3DS, when you got me back into Pokemon. So I missed the entire DS generation. That was more my sister's speed.
Yeah, I was doing that. Yoshi Touch and Go is kind of like an endless runner. That's pretty much it. You just start playing and you do everything with the stylus. So you're only using the touch screen to do stuff. And at first I was like, this is fucking hard, and then it was really fun. There was a lot of really cool DS games. Man, just off the top of my head, there was this really awesome one called Trauma Center Under the Knife. And it was like an anime ER doctor game. Oh, yeah. I think I remember. It was so good.
Was that a Wii U game?
They did. They brought it to the Wii. I think the Wii. I'll have to look.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. And it was the same. It was the same game.
Let's see if crazy. That was you said that like that was like a blast from the past. They were like all super serious anime doctors.
Yep.
And it would be like, you've got to go in and get the whatever cancer out of him. And it's like, okay, yeah, no problem. I got it.
You got to get the super thing out of him. You gotta.
And then, was there like a timer or something? And you got graded on how fast?
Well, yeah, because they would.
Yeah.
They would die. The patient would die.
Well, okay.
The Wii one was called Second Operation.
Okay.
But I think it was a retelling of the DS one. I think. I don't know if they made a second one. They may have, and I just missed it.
Yeah.
I think I was in college when that game came out.
Yeah. By then, you were probably all in World of Warcraft, and I was lost.
I was still playing my DS.
I was lost.
2005.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing that fucking game, and it was so good. It progressively gets more insane, obviously. Like, at first, I think it's like fucking Operation, and you just got to get in there. And there's like, they got all these, like, gamifications to make it so it works. But also, like, you're setting an alternate reality where small cuts, and if you sew stuff up, could be instantly healed with this green stuff that you spread across the wound, and it would heal it. But you would have to, like, deal with big gaping wounds and stuff and all that. I mean, obviously, it was really cartoonized and not that graphic.
Yeah.
But about halfway through the game, these parasites started showing up in the patients, and they were like, you had to be incredibly dexterous to deal with them. And you could do this thing where you could slow down time and, like, save the patient in a moment where they might die. It was so hard. And I just remember thinking it was an incredible game. I would like to play through that game again, but then I'd have to get the DS out.
Right?
Can't. I mean, that would be cool. But yeah, that totally took me out because I was thinking about that. Because there was one other thing I really liked about the touchscreen was in the remake of Mario 64, which if you have played Mario 64 before and you haven't played the quote unquote port, it's actually kind of a remake because you're not just Mario. You get access to Luigi, Yoshi, and fucking Wario for some reason. And there are different hats in the game. It's just really cool. But they had a series of mini games you could play on the touchscreen in like I don't know, it's just like a little game corner in the game. And there was this one that I just played constantly, and it was just a really dumb sorting game, but it was sort the bombs. And there was red ones and black ones, and if you put a red one in the black one, they would blow up and you would lose. And you had to sort them really fucking fast, and it was really fun. I don't know why I loved that game. I played it constantly, but I have that burned into my mind. That just took me back to the fucking DS, bro. What a goat!
I can't remember. Obviously, we're just spitballing now about the DS, but I can't remember if this was DS or 3DS. The Bravely Default series, was that 3DS?
Yeah, I believe.
Okay, yeah. I just remember that one being such a cool idea for an RPG. The story was so cheesy and over the top. It was think Final Fantasy if they went into the writer's room and they were like, the last couple games were a little bit too, on the line. We need to go way more whimsical with this one. And it's like, okay, here we go. But the mechanic of the game was you could either take a brave stance or a default stance. And if you were brave, it basically meant you would defer, and then you would get 2 turns in a row and do double damage. And it was like this big, huge combo that you could do with your team. And it had a job system, kind of like earlier Final Fantasy games. And obviously Tactics at that point had already been out. But man, I remember those games being so fun because there was that tactical element that was always kind of missing from Final Fantasy. Like when you're grinding through Final Fantasy, you're either, mashing the attack button with your fighters or you're mashing the spells with your casters. But with this, it was much more tactical because you almost wanted to line up their big turns for their big, wombo combos. And then you could do a boatload of damage. And it would if you chained them together, those would turn into bigger and bigger attacks the more people that you got involved in it. That was just such a cool game. I couldn't remember if it was 3DS or DS. But they were definitely trying stuff on handhelds.
Just the DS alone, moving into the 3DS, that was some of the best handheld gaming I'd ever done. Were on those two systems. I have so many 3DSs. I just kept buying them. They kept making them, and I kept buying them. Actually, I only had like 4, but still, that's still a lot.
That's a lot.
Still a lot of handhelds. Well, I had one for my wife. So, and then I had one that was like the 3DS, and then they came out with the XLs, and I bought that, and then they came out with like the 2DS, like new 3DSs or whatever, where they had the better hardware in them. So I had to buy that, of course, because Pokemon will run better on it. But the Bravely Default games, I mean, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, well, you're in luck because that's a Square Enix game. So, well, they're the publisher. I think they helped develop it too, but I don't remember.
I'm sure they did because there were a lot of, design elements that felt very Final Fantasy.
I think some of those classes are too.
I mean, everything was a trope. Like literally every aspect of that game. There's like the female protagonist who's like, "Woe is me," and then the boy comes in and is like, "You got to be tough. You could be tough," and she's like, "You're right, I am tough." Then they fall in love, and there's like the big bad villain who's just like hounding them the entire way through. It was really good. I really liked it for as cheesy as it was.
I'm pretty sure a lot of the jobs are Final Fantasy jobs. I want to say I've not played that game, but I've seen it when I'm looking up stuff about Final Fantasy. It shows up some of the jobs from it. I mean, there's a lot of crossover, obviously, but it's kind of like what you want to see. You want to see like a new thing instead of like, Final Fantasy again. It's good to see something new because then they can really deviate. If they put Final Fantasy on there, there's a lot of stigma there. There's new fans and old fans and a lot of arguments in between. What should be and what is, and I think you avoid that by rebranding.
Exactly.
Which is good. I don't know. I got totally lost in the sauce there for a second. I forgot that I was going to talk about the DLSS 5 bullshit.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I want to spend a little time on that for a second because I was cracking up at the memes that were coming out over the past week where they're just like fucking DLSS 5 off with it on. And then it's just like fucking, Balenciaga fucking AI fucking slap shit, You're like, what the fuck is this, NVIDIA? And then, well, you're so good. And then what were you telling me about the card requirements?
Oh my gosh. So, this whole thing came about from a Digital Foundry. I don't know if it was like a post or like a video that they made. It was very weird because Digital Foundry they're straight and narrow. They're the guys who come in and they're like, listen, we're going to do a benchmark test. We're telling you the numbers. That's what it is. And this was like really flowery, like praising the stuff. And like, it felt like an ad read. And then at the very like bottom fine print, it was like, one card was running Resident Evil Requiem, a 5090, which $5,090 for one card was running Resident Evil. And then a second card was running the DLSS 5. So it's $10,000 to get this technology up and running. No, thank you. Hard pass.
To have what the artist didn't intend. Look at this. Exactly. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing?
This is very important. I want to make sure, I'm a very technical person. I want to make sure lines aren't getting blurred. There's a very distinct difference between AI upscaling. So for instance, like let's say your rig can't run something at a higher quality. And so you simulate those higher graphical settings. This is not that. This is like a TikTok filter that they just put over the face of Grace. And it looks like all of those AI videos that you see online. It's that just plastered over her face. She's got like real plump lips. And like every once in a while when she turns, like she'll have, like in one frame, she'll have lip gloss on, but in another, she won't. She's got like the Chad. I don't know what the girl version of a Chad meme is, but she's got like the Chad cheeks. It's so ridiculous. It looks so bad. And then on top of that, the worst part of that, all of these companies were coming out and being like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. Bethesda, especially Todd Howard, came out and was like, this is so good. This is going to revolutionize Starfield. We're putting this in immediately. No questions asked. We're gonna put it in Starfield, and this is gonna be a shot of life in Starfield. And then all of this backlash came out, and people were targeting Todd Howard, and he was like, "Well, obviously it's got a long way to go. We're just happy with the potential of this technology." And it was like, "No, you thought this was cool. You thought you were gonna get to make your AI girlfriend, and you didn't get to do it."
I always feel bad, well, maybe don't feel bad, but it's kind of like double-edged sword, like he probably deserves it a little bit. Speaking of Bethesda, which maybe we have some time to go back and forth about that, but I always feel bad that Squirrely Man, fucking, like he says some shit and then gets it, and you're like, all right, back off, he's got it hard enough.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wait, his wall is fucking bigger than my house. Never mind, get him.
Don't beat the dead horse, but we can kick him a little.
Well, one that I was cracking up about with the DLSS one with Grace was when she went. Oh, by the way, Grace from Resident Evil 9. By the way, folks.
Yeah.
They had like the regular picture, and then they had her, but it was like a man, and he was like fucking jacked and like with a beard.
Yes.
And I was like, oh fucking Jesus. Then they were doing it to Todd Howard, and they were making him fucking jacked. He was like, I like the DLSS mouth. Like, no, you don't. Stop saying that. Yeah, you know what? He's just seeing dollar signs for fucking Skyrim. He was like, we can put a filter on Skyrim and re-release it. No, you better not.
Yes.
They're gonna.
They will.
He wanted to.
They will. Oh my gosh. You're
fuck.
right. You're exactly right. And the internet's undefeated. Like, you can't get away with anything. And I can see both sides of the coin, like you were saying. I understand why they were excited, because you flip a switch and all of a sudden your graphics supposedly instantly improve.
Yeah.
Right? Like, whatever you want to say, the filter looked higher fidelity. I want to phrase this very carefully. It looked more polished than the original image, right? Because it is. I mean, you're literally devoting an entire graphics card worth of power into somebody's face. So of course it's going to look better. But the problem with that is we've already seen this technology. It's been in TikTok. It's been on Snapchat. Everybody and your grandma has used those filters before, and we know what that looks like. It's the best example I can give is like 5 or 10 years ago, you used to see a video and you'd be like, oh, that's Photoshop.
Shoop the whoop.
That's Photoshop. Or like that's CGI. I can tell. And your parents would be like, what? How can you tell? And it's like, I could just tell. I've seen that 1,000 times. I can just tell. This is that, but for like our millennial generation, where we're like, oh, wow, that looks really good. And then like you go down to the comments and the Gen Zers are like, yeah, that's a TikTok filter. And it's like, what? No. Oh, yeah, it is. Like, so I understand where the excitement comes from.
It's dog shit.
Here's the problem. The problem is they're taking their AI engine and they can't find a home for it. And so they were like, gamers
will surely want this.
They just shoved this giant thing down our throats. And they were like, here, use this. You're going to love it. And we're like, imagine the tone deafness that you have to have when we're in the middle of a hardware shortage. And they're like, oh, just put it in your rig with two 5090s and you can have graphics like that. You too can have graphics like this. And it's like, what are we doing? This is literally the meme of Final Fantasy VII of like the elite are up here and we poor peasants are down here being like, please just let me play my game.
They would love to let you play your game. That's why they require two 5090s. So now that subscription to streaming gaming is looking much nicer. Only $90 a month on weekends for 720p. You can play for 8 hours all weekend.
I'm trying real hard here to be on the other side of the aisle.
No, you ain't.
And like,
you ain't winning that.
And like, we're trying to be objective here.
I'm not.
But this sucks, man.
Gross.
This is so tone deaf and bad. It's just.
Oh my god. You know what though?
No, go ahead. You say yours because I was going to say something bad.
Well, I was just going to say Resident Evil 9 looks just fine. Like, it doesn't need that shit. It looks great. I watched Zero play all weekend, I feel like. And I was just like, fuck, this game looks good. I'm glad you played it, though, because I'd be scared out of my fucking mind right now. Just so you know. But I don't know that whole debacle. I hope it doesn't fuck gaming. Well, then everybody will be like, hey, yeah, what was that about them old games you guys were talking about?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Is like I'm so terrified that somebody's gonna be like, oh, we don't even need to do remakes anymore. We'll just put this filter over top of your old game. And I was like, oh, that's disgusting. Do not do that.
Some of that shit has made its way into modding, though, because there's people out there using AI voices for mods, and I don't know. I don't really agree with that either. Like I kind of do because it's mods or whatever, and we want more of those. But I'd rather that not happen because, like that's
here's my voi's. I'm trying real hard to be on the other side of the aisle here. I'm grasping at straws.
You're making enemies.
Here's my one thought of why that's okay. Imagine, well, I mean, you don't have to imagine. You did it. You made a game, and you made it for us, our friend group, and you were like, "This is us." If you asked any of us to record voices for it, we would have done it.
Oh yeah.
Anything you would have wanted from us, we would have done. But imagine you don't have that availability or that accessibility, and you're like, I want to make a game.
No voices then.
I need some.
No voices.
I need some. Well.
We used to read.
I need somebody to voice. yeah. But you need somebody to voice.
This is me shooting holes in you talking. Pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, a character. And you're like, that is setting me. That is the only thing holding me back from making this game.
I'm pretty sure the greatest game of all time didn't have voice acting in it.
Okay, well. Dragon Ball Z Budokai definitely.
How dare you?
Mobile Suit Gundam Federation versus Xeon had voice acting.
You right off the podcast. Let me go back and pull the footage of me and you talking about Final Fantasy VII.
I don't know. I don't understand it.
I understand it.
I'm really trying here to like. It's money. I mean, that's what it is. It's money.
You know what? We don't need this, though. We could just go back to stylized graphics and have a good time.
Problem.
I mean, we would still be having a great time. Nintendo does it all the time. Everybody shits all over them.
There's a difference between graphics and art design. And I know I'm like, I'm trying, like, I make fun of you all the time for this. There is a difference.
Yeah.
And the best example of this is back on the PlayStation 3 era, they did an HD remake of Silent Hill 1 and 3. And it was awful. It was terrible. I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, and I brought up this YouTube video that's like it's like a 2-hour long dissertation of why the HD remake on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 was terrible. But like the impending dread that you feel playing the original Silent Hill games. Imagine if all that was stripped away and they were like 4K, DLSS, you can see everything. The fog is gone because the fog just it's taking away from the graphics. So we stripped the fog away. You can see every detail of the ground and the town and the monsters. The draw distance is forever. You can see all the way to the other end of the map. That's not the point of Silent Hill. The point of Silent Hill is that you can see 5 feet in front of your face and a monster jumps out and it scares the crap out of you because you didn't even know it was there. You don't even know if it's real. That's the point of Silent Hill, but nobody cares about that shit. They care about stuff being in 4K. They care about it being 600 frames per second. They care about it having the AI girlfriend face on it that's just like always pouty lips. And it's like, what are we doing?
This DLSS always makes her smile, boys.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, man. We're literally getting to like.
I'm getting angry.
Cyberpunk dystopian.
You're making me mad.
People are objects, and we just use them as tools to complete our stuff. It's disgusting.
Well, AI aside, I don't know. Do we got time to talk about this?
I was gonna say we went on a rant there.
I was going to talk a little bit about us trying to get into. Speaking of Bethesda, I think it's too long. I think that's too long of a topic to bring up right this minute. We'll do it next time.
Well, let's do the other one. Let's do the handheld. Okay. We can do that in 10 minutes because you haven't started yet, have you?
No, I haven't. You talking about Pokemon?
Okay.
Yeah, tell the folks about your first Nuzlocke adventure. That,
Okay. Yeah. So we have decided that we're going to do a little handshake here. I'm going to go back and play. Well, we both are, but we're playing our favorite games. Your favorite games are Pokemon games. My favorite games are Bethesda Fallout games. And so I started playing Pokemon Red, and we downloaded some not really mods, but what are they called?
It's a ROM hack. It basically is a mod.
ROM hack,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, might as well be. But we're playing like Red Plus, if that makes sense. And then at night when we get on for our usual gaming session, we're playing Fallout New Vegas. So kind of like you play my favorite game, I'll play your favorite game, and then we kind of meet together and talk about it. And so I started playing Red Nuzlocke with the hardcore rule set where you can't use items in battle. You can only catch one version of each, one instance of each Pokemon. So the stakes were high. I was doing really well. I was taking it very serious. Obviously, I started a trial run first because I'm a scaredy cat and I thought I was going to lose, and I wanted to have. I didn't want to be going off of 20-year-old memories and being like, oh yeah, I know what to do, and then you get lost and a Pokemon dies. So I started playing and I was doing really well. A lot of that stuff was coming back. Muscle memory was kicking in. I was being very careful, very safe, and I went to a football conference and took my 3DS with me. I was like, hey, I'll just get some practice reps in while I'm there. I'll have some downtime, no problem. And hats off, please. A moment of silence. Had our first death. Unfortunately, Diglett passed fully. The Diglett passed. He was killed in action, taken down in Erica's gym.
Killed in action.
Yeah, shouldn't have been in there anyway. I was just trying to level him up.
What was he doing standing there?
Yeah, he shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been standing there. So Diglett's dead. He's gone. I buried him. Technically, you're supposed to release him. I legitimately felt awful releasing that Pokemon.
Yeah, well, you weren't paying attention and you got him killed. I told you that would happen.
Well,
I fucking told you to pay attention.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, what happened? Tell the folks at home what happened. The warning I gave you.
Well, okay, so I'll tell the full story. So like I said, normally when I'm playing, I literally have like a guide sitting in front of me. So I'm playing and I'm like, if I walk here, I'm fighting this trainer. I know what Pokemon they have. I know what level they are. I know what moveset they have. And I didn't have that stuff. I was at this conference and I was literally playing in bed, just playing. So I didn't know what level they were. I didn't know what their movesets were. I didn't know any of that stuff. And on top of that, I was switch training, which for anybody who doesn't know what that means, back in the old days, before we had XP share, you used to have to put a weak Pokemon at the front of your party and then swap them out to bring in a stronger Pokemon. And then both Pokemon would get an equal amount of XP. So the weaker Pokemon would level up to catch up to everybody else. And I was doing that. I was trying to level up to get ready for Erica's gym. And I was fighting her like side trainers. And they were tough, man. So their moveset was essentially stall tactic, which is you poison or paralyze, and then you wrap, which in Gen 1 meant that nothing else can happen until wrap resolves. So that could be 2 to 5 turns of you getting attacked without you being able to do anything in between. And I was switch training, I was getting poisoned, I was getting confused, I was getting paralyzed, and I was swapping out into a fire type Pokemon, my Charmeleon, my starter, and I started getting down to like half health. I'm like, whoa, this is getting too scary. So I swap her out and sub in Mew, which is like I cheated, to do that. I did a very well-known glitch to get this Pokemon. This was my ace in the hole. If bad stuff happens, I bring her in, and you just wipe the floor because it's a legendary Pokemon. And she was getting knocked down. She was getting down to like 3/4 health, half health. And I'm like, what the heck? So I'm subbing, I'm swapping, I'm starting to freak out. I'm like losing my mind. And I was like, okay, they don't have any grass type moves. Diglett, get in there. You're faster. You can hit them before they do anything. Well, when you swap, you lose your turn and they get a free turn. And of course, what happens to everybody, swap it, Diglett in, they hit me with a grass type move, and I just get critical hit, one shot, Diglett's dead, gone forever. And I literally sat there for probably like a good 5 minutes and was just like, I just got beat. I just got my first Pokemon killed. And then on top of that, the worst part of that was I had a stinking Doduo sitting there right in the back with flying type moves that I could have subbed in and would have been fine. And I did and killed it. And I was like, ugh.
The triple threat.
Rip.
The triple stall threat of Gen 1, the most dangerous, the rap, poison, confusion, because maybe you get out of you finally get a turn to move and you confuse, hit yourself in the fucking face while you're poisoned. You're like, stop it! No! You just fucking got Ditto fucking haymakered. You turned him into dust.
I was so upset. And by those rule sets, I can never get a Diglett or a Dugtrio now.
Oh, I called him Ditto.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, it's so much worse for me because one of the rules is you have to nickname your Pokemon, and which I have been doing. I've been nicknaming them kind of like we did with our Blood Bowl teams. But the problem with that is I can't keep track of whose nickname is which Pokemon because I'm already doing the mental gymnastics of like remembering the original 151. But then on top of that, they don't have the name of the Pokemon. So I'm like, who the hell are you?
How could you forget? The Pokemon rap not stick in your head from the old TV show?
Oh, it's stuck. I was there, Leo. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to tell this real quick story. This is a hilarious Little A Money story. So when Pokemon came out in its original run, it took over our school. Everybody, I mean, boys, girls, didn't matter. Everybody was like sucked into this new thing. And of course, immediately after the games came out, it was merchandise. You had toys, you had movies, TV shows, but you had Pokemon cards. And those were like drugs at our school. It immediately got banned. You weren't allowed to have them. If any teacher saw them, they got confiscated. And so what we would do is we'd be like, teacher, I need to go to the bathroom. And we would go to the bathroom and we popped the cover off of the radiator in the bathroom, and we would stick the cards that we wanted to trade in there. And then when the next class would go in, they would leave the cards that they wanted to trade. And we would do little like hot swap drug deal trades in the boys' bathroom. And being like, that was our sneaky way of getting around the no Pokemon cards in school system.
First of all, hilarious that was an honor system and everyone honored it. Second of all, also hilarious that you guys were doing. That story makes me laugh every single time. I was just in the background howling. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, that one's for zero. Do you think that maybe the janitor knew and he was like, those kids.
Oh, maybe he was slipping his cards in there.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Put the good ones in.
Because you're right, it was an honor system. We didn't know whose cards belonged to who. We just knew like.
Yeah, how did you guys work that out? Everybody was like, hey, any cards that you want to trade, you put it in there.
Yeah, it was just a trust system. Yeah, so whatever you wanted to trade, you'd put in there, and then like at lunchtime, you'd just be like walking by and be like, hey, I noticed you dropped a.
Anybody put something good in there?
I think the biggest one that anybody ever traded. I think somebody put a Venusaur in there.
Whoa. Shiny?
I think somebody the old the old shiny one. I think somebody put I can't remember was a Persian a holographic card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody
I don't know, could have been.
Somebody put a Persian in there. I remember that one being a huge one that everybody fought over. But like nobody would put in a card that was like like their best card. You would put in the stuff that you wanted to trade. So it wasn't like people were leaving like Charizards in there and being like, okay, honor system guys, nobody take it. Yeah, it was mostly just...
yeah, nobody take it.
It was just like bulk stuff. I mean, literally, we were kids back then. We didn't know about the rarity system. We knew like, that's my favorite Pokemon. I want it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so you would just trade that way. We didn't care if they were rare.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and we really only wanted the shiny ones because there was so much like lenicular and shiny shit back then. I still got some other cards that are really old and I only kept the shiny ones out of those packs.
Yeah.
Now that's all fucked up. Scalpers have ruined the fucking hobby. But anyway, that's enough. That's enough stories for today, I think. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good on that. We hit some good topics. Got to talk about some video game movies. Got to talk about how we hate AI.
Oh, fucking Jesus!
Threw in some Pokemon stories.
Well, we'll tell you next time about Fallout and more Pokemon stories. But for now, we'll what was that thing?
We'll blast off again.
No, the other one.
See ya?
Yeah, that one. Do that one.
No, that was it. That was my
Oh.
see ya.
Okay. All right. Okay.